the U.S. Supreme Court sided with Planned Parenthood over the effort of conservative states to block Planned Parenthood's funding. The Supreme Court declined to hear the case, instead letting stand two lower court decisions stating that it was against federal law for states to terminate Medicaid contracts with Planned Parenthood affiliates. So at issue was not whether states can provide federal funding for abortion. Mm-hmm. That is not legal in the United States of America. You can't
already.
Yeah, you can't use federal funds to provide for abortion. Instead, the case was about whether states can block Medicaid funds from offices that provide such women with annual health screenings, contraceptive coverage, and cancer screening. So just, like I said, just regular medical services.
A whole host of medical services.
Yes.
Not pertaining to abortion.
Not pertaining to abortion, and not pertaining to just women, too. Not pertaining, because again, Planned Parenthood is not just about women, although when you talk about Planned Parenthood, it's always about women because of the issue of abortion.
Not just the issue of abortion, if you just kind of just judge objectively, like who is most likely going to need care medically, it's going to be women.
Yeah, and no doubt most of their clients are women. No doubt. But again, this is, their services are not just for women.
They have some things to worry about that men do not.
Yeah, exactly. But again, this was not about abortion. This was about just other medical services. So the lower court that the Supreme Court was talking about, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, ruled that states have broad authority in establishing which Medicaid providers are qualified to provide services, but that there are limits. The states can't just arbitrarily say that, we're going to cut these contracts. In February, the court said, quote, states may not terminate providers from their Medicaid program for any reason they see fit, especially when that reason is unrelated to the provider's competence and the quality of health care it provides. So this was a smackdown, at least for the time being, to these conservative states. Like I know Kansas was one of them. Louisiana, of course. So, southern states that are they're trying to do this because of the link between abortion and Planned Parenthood. A lot of these, I think in the case of Kansas, this lawsuit or this effort to cut funding from Planned Parenthood, it was launched after those tapes came out.
Oh, you mean the whole selling fetal parts.
Selling baby body parts. Yes,
fetal organs. It's interesting that you say that because, again, like you said, this really has nothing to do with abortion. It has to do with Medicaid.
Not at all.
Contracts.
That's correct.
And it's just so weird that there was this little nugget within Clarence Thomas's dissenting opinion.
Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, they needed four justices to take the case, to approve taking the case.
Exactly. Well, we already stated what this was not about.
Right.
But in Clarence Thomas's dissenting opinion, he cited the claim that Planned Parenthood was making money selling fetal organs, even though this is not what it's about. Why is that in his dissenting opinion if that's not what this case was about or this ruling was about? Like, that right there tells me that even Supreme Court justices can be influenced by propaganda. Or better yet, I'm sorry, maybe I'm giving them too much credit when I say influenced by propaganda. Maybe I should say use what they know is propaganda to support their position.
I'll say it another way.
Position or decision.
I will say it another way. I will say that this just proves that Supreme Court justices are political operatives.
Political operatives who aren't informed.
Yes. Are biased political operatives, just like in the case of Brett Kavanaugh. Now, Brett Kavanaugh was on the right side of this. He did not approve of the Supreme Court taking this case. So that's good. But he has feelings about this. That even the conservative justices that was like, nah, we're not taking this case. They still have feelings about this because of that link between abortion and Planned Parenthood. And they really want to yank that funding from Planned Parenthood, which is so ridiculous. Again, I don't know how many times this has to be uttered, but federal funds do not go towards providing for abortions. it's against the law to do so, and Planned Parenthood does not do that. So why would you want to pull funding from Planned Parenthood, who provides all these other medical services to women and men all across the country? Why would you want to yank that funding when there are other Medicaid providers. There are other providers that you can go to as well. But Planned Parenthood is paramount because they are all over the country. They have locations all over the country. They are more accessible than other providers. So why would you want to yank the funding that goes to services that you are not against?
But see,
it's just ridiculous.
But conservatives in states like Kansas and Louisiana, their attempts to block Planned Parenthood's funding was based on a lie.
Yes.
So what did they think was going to happen?
Yes.
The entire
doctored tapes.
Doctored tapes. That's what their entire premise was based on. So what did they think was going to happen? You know what? Go ahead. You just asked a question. Mm-hmm. You said, why would they want to block the funding of an agency that, I guess, has so much responsibility and provides services that help for a lot of different issues other than abortion? Right. You're asking, why would they want to do that?
Why would they be against that?
Why would they want to be against that? Because the GOP's primary focus in all this Planned Parenthood talk is abortion, right?
Yes.
But does this attack on Planned Parenthood go beyond or have other motives than just some sort of religious morality? Mm-hmm. Because we already know they are hell-bent on taking programs away, what they call entitlements.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So maybe this is just another fighting on a different front of the same battle. You see what I'm saying? Because this is maybe a way that they could try to take away what they call entitlements.
Like Medicaid services.
Medicaid services.
Mm-hmm. It could be. It could be. What I was going to say is, if this was 2016, I'd understand this. Even in 2016, shortly after these doctored tapes came out, it was proved that they were doctored. They were cut up and pieced together in a way that it made it look like Planned Parenthood was actually selling baby body parts when they weren't. But this is 2018, and that has long since been discovered that they were trying to do a con job. It's long since been debunked. So in 2018, you still have states using that issue, these doctored tapes, to strip funding away from Planned Parenthood. Funding that goes towards other services other than abortion.
It's just amazing that we have conservatives that will use lies, propaganda, distorted video, to push hard for legislation, right?
Really hard, man.
Stuff that's been debunked.
Yep.
But when it comes to science of climate change,
we don't want that information. That information is phony.
That information is phony.
See, that information has been doctored.